Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I am Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Hey guys.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. The song on my heart right now is Driving Through, Just Put My Eyes on You. Everybody driving on new cars. Sweet country home, sweet honey bucking. Like what?
Sorry,
girl?
y'all.
Have you not been listening?
I have. You just weren't singing
Driving through, just to put my eyes on you. Like, have you not heard that part, people? I know
Blame
you
it
have.
on the singer. Blame it on the singer, not the listener.
No, Alexis hasn't been doing her homework, obviously. But yes, I am. That's the song in my head at the moment from Cowboy Carter, because I am still on the Cowboy Carter train. And yeah, my life is a little all over the place, as you know. Like I will admit I'm here. I was late this morning or today, but yeah, I'm just taking everything one day at a time.
Why are you saying your life is? Why is your life all over the place?
Just because, like, I'm getting used to a new schedule. Like, I literally have been telling myself, like, today's Monday, because, like, I worked yesterday, which was Sunday, and, like, now it feels like it should be my weekend, but it's Monday, so I'm like, it's Monday, like businesses are open, like you can call the people that you've been needing to call, you can like do all the things you've been needing to do. And then just yeah, my apartment, it's hard to just do everything. It's hard to like take care of yourself, work, take care of Jupiter, like, you know, see my family and wash clothes and cook and clean and do all of the freaking things, and then find time to relax. So my apartment is a mess, and it's just on my to-do list to clean. And I'm hoping that like one of my coworkers were like, she could take Wednesday for me. So I'm like, I might take her up on that, because I really need to just have like 3 days, because it's not like today I'm not doing anything. We have like Jupiter's puppy class. This is his last class. He graduates today. My baby.
A scholar.
Yes, a scholar. He is the star student in his class. So yes, he graduates, and then I have to like figure out my car, because my lease is ending, and I want to wash my car. I want to like, and then I need to clean my apartment. And so yeah, I really need those 3 days. So I'm gonna take her up on that. But
will it be every Wednesday or just this way?
Just this Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, don't let it take your money.
Because I was gonna work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening, and it's like, Samantha, just that's gonna be a lot. Like, you need to take some time to just, you know, do your life. I feel like I take care of the yoga studio so good, you know. It's like, it's definitely a lesson of like, do for yourself what you do for these companies, you know.
No, I get that. I feel like you're better than me. I literally be like flying off for a job, coming back the next day in time for my New York job. Like literally, I'm like, I mean, but I'm right now in the like in a. I mean, I've had a mindset the past 5 years, but especially like this final year of like living off of this like savings money. Like I'm like, any money I can get, I'm like, give it me. But I've had like a pretty.
I gotta respect my body these days.
I've had a pretty good morning, though, I would say. Like, I woke up and I had a phone interview, which, you know, and like, I think it went really, really well. She said she was going to put me to the next round. So I'm really, really excited about the next round. And it's just, you know, I'm excited to do the preparation and talk to people. And yeah, I'm just excited about the prospect. And then after this, it's sunny, so it's fun. I'm really happy it's a sunny day in New York. But literally, when I walked out, I tell you, my hair went from like here to like
oh my god,
to the level of my ears. Like it was so humid outside, and so that's that's why I put it back in these bands. It was off, like it was out of the bands. I was like, let me put it out of these bands. So later and driving to the DMV. So
yeah, that's amazing. I'm so happy that your interview went well and that I am totally in agreement. Like I am so happy that the sun is out and it is like it's supposed to get really freaking hot this
I know. I was like,
and I know you'll be in Austin. You're gonna be pissed. Alexis
I know
hates
that's why
the heat, people.
I do. I hate the heat. I don't know. It's like Austin living for 4 years scarred me. Like I'm at the point now where like I hate it. I know. So it's gonna be in Austin tomorrow. I like looked this up. Tomorrow in Austin, it's gonna be 88, and I'm just like, so basically 90 degrees. I'm disgusted. And then when I'm in Maryland on Wednesday,
yeah, it gets too hot.
When I'm in Maryland on Wednesday, it's gonna rain. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, you know, it is what it is. Well, let's get.
How do you feel? Oh yeah, let's get to it. I was about to ask something, but
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how do you feel coming to the end of your school journey, getting your PhD?
Oh my god,
literally at the very end, the home stretch.
Absolutely. Julia was like asking me this last night. I feel like, I mean, I'm really, really happy, obviously, for many reasons. One is like I can now start getting a real job and getting paid. I'm done with the state of Texas for this reason. And it's just really cool to be able to like live out a dream, like not many people get to like really be like, I dreamed of this and then I did it. And so this is really cool. And then like, finally, like, I feel like I'm a part of like a little community. I mean, like very small percentage. I mean, I want to say it's like 4% of Black people have PhD. So I kind of feel like a unicorn. Like I'm a walking unicorn.
Yes.
And so I'm just like really proud of myself, but I'm also very excited to be done this 5-year process. Absolutely excited. So I mean,
that's so good, Alexis. Ahead. I'm so proud of you. Like I just remember being in school with you, like, and yeah, like I know your ancestors are very proud and just like you are doing it, girl. You're doing it.
Thank you, friend.
Let's get into the things. Who's on trial, Alexis?
Well, you can also bring some things, but I think I'm
gonna bring some things.
We definitely have to talk Normani. I just need to talk about this freaking rollout.
Oh my god!
And then go ahead.
My thing is also Amanda Seales, Shannon Sharp, and I know you want to talk about that as well. So yeah,
yes,
let's go.
Well, I was just gonna say this, like Normani. This is the thing. I was expecting her to come. She is known for movement. I was expecting her to come with a song where it was going to be dance for it, full 8 count. Like literally, like you're getting the girlies up for summer.
Let's give the audience a little backstory. Normani just dropped her. Yes, Normani just dropped her debut single for. Is this her debut album? It's her debut
album. Her debut album called Dopamine, and she just dropped her lead single, which is 159. And so that came out featuring Gunna. And so, prior to it releasing, I was anticipating a dance forward song because we're coming into spring, we're about to get into summer, people are going to be out drinking on boats, dancing, just summer vibes. And so I was expecting this to be like upbeat, full 8 count dancing, and just something that could more so resonate with the summer. And what we got was totally different. 159 is very reminiscent of like 90s RnB, I would say. It's a slow tempo RnB song. I don't know if this should be the lead single, in my opinion. Like, I feel like this should be a single, maybe down the line, maybe the third one she releases from the album or the second. But I feel like the first song should be the song that gets people, to push the album. And I don't know if she's gotten people outside of her core fan base excited. And the only reason I'm excited is because I love Normani, not because I just heard this really cool song, And so I don't know if this is like lead single worthy. Like, this is your lead for your debut album and you come slow tempo. Like, I don't know. It's especially when you're not Adele. Like, Adele comes slow tempo for her first album because she's going to lead with vocal ballads. That's her thing. I don't think Normani's thing is that. Like, to me, Normani's known for dancing.
Right. Yeah.
And performing.
She is definitely known for performing and giving us a bop that like makes us feel good and sexy, but like definitely moving, or something that you can dance to.
Right.
I agree. I don't think that this was the best single for those reasons that you just said, and like, and just to kind of like, you want to, I feel like, spark some interest, you know,
Yes.
like, I feel when you're putting out, like, I know we always go back to Beyonce, but for her to like, she put out
Crazy
some songs that, but even on this latest album, it's just like Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages are like, for one, she put out a fast and a slow. You know, she was like, here y'all go. We got a ballad and a fast one. And then it's just also, it's different. It makes you like listen for something new or like something we haven't heard. It's just, it very much is like giving like B-side of the album and just like could have been tucked in there somewhere. I also feel like if she did 159, it would have been cool if like it was like 159 seconds, like a little interlude, and just was like super cool. But I agree with you. Like, the fact that I care is because, you know, I want Normani to win and I'm excited for her. So it does feel like a little bit of just like, oh God, I hope that this goes
and just
well.
like, and I know, and I'm just like, that's why I'm like, I'm really curious about her team, because I'm like, even if she loved the song, thought this was her song, this is the coolest song she ever made, sometimes you have to be strategic with like what you release. And the fact is that like Normani is trying to become, as a lead, as like a solo artist, a mainstream artist. Like, there's no doubt Fifth Harmony was made to the mainstream. They were on the billboards, they were at VMAs, they were at the Grammys, like they were everywhere. But as a lead artist, Normani has yet to like crack these like these accolades in a worthwhile manner. I know Wildside made a lot of like headway, and I'm just like, for your lead song on the debut album to be slow tempo, I feel like it's gonna set the tone for what people expect from her now, which is like your normal R&B song. There was nothing about, to me, 159 that was separate to any other R&B song on the radio right now. You know, like it has a cool beat, it's slow tempo, you're talking about sex, and that's it. You know, like,
yeah.
And then also just even like,
I agree.
Her marketing, like, she teased 159. Somebody said in February. 2 months ago, she was she teased it. And then what? You wait like 2 months of silence until last week you put like a album coming in June, a month later, and then the remember the song's coming out in a week. Like, it's bad marketing. Like, I feel like I just remember like when Beyonce's debut album, I'm sorry, we keep going back to B, but we're Beehive. Like,
I mean, she's the blueprint, so
she's the blueprint, and I know Normani looks up to her. I remember when Crazy in Love was about to come out and Dangerously in Love was about to come out, I was anticipating the day. I remember going to Target and buying the album like the day of, like knowing the day. I remember though hitting the pavement on like TRL, BET. I remember putting it in my CD player and playing it for the first time.
We got the video.
She had the full package, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure it dropped with the video.
The thing is this
Crazy in Love.
Right, it did. You're right, it did. And then also, this is the thing. Normani
is like, I have arrived.
Right.
Sorry.
Normani is known as a visual artist. Wildside was iconic music video. Motivation was such a good music video. Why did she not pair the drop of 159 with the visual? Especially if the song was going to be slow tempo. Or just a better
song.
Right, but even if she did this mid-song,
you're right. Yeah,
it would get more interest in the song if she had a really cool visual with it, especially if the song's not that strong, you know? And I'm just, I don't understand, but I'm scared because I'm just like, I feel like she has a lot of like they have a lot of like correction to do if she wants this album to like chart.
Yeah. I know. And like we want to see Normani on our stages. We want to see her do her performances because we know how much she has to give. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like two things. I feel like I'm curious. I really want to get more educated on like the music industry and like what it takes for artists, like how much control they have and how much like they can control like when
I
something's
agree.
dropped, when their singles drop, which one is chose. Like I really would love to know because I know there's some things like I remember just SZA being really frustrated that she had to like push her album back and all this stuff. So I'm curious about that. And then two, with Normani, and maybe it is just her team, but I do feel like, and I pray this is not true, that like I feel like sometimes she's a little scared of the spotlight and like
What makes you think
it could
that?
be like self-sabotaging sometimes
But what
because
makes you
she
think
just,
that?
well, one, I remember we like looked at her chart a while ago and her birth chart, natal chart, astrology speak coming at you. Just like I just remember, I don't even remember the exact placements, but I remember just seeing some of those placements and being like, oh yeah, like this is why she is like just kind of, for one, I think she's been through a lot in the industry. I think that being in that group that she was in and being like the only dark skinned brown girl in the group was probably really traumatic. And
Absolutely.
I feel like she has a lot of moments of like, fuck this industry. Like, I'm gonna be this bad bitch, secret. I'm gonna be the secret that like,
Only like
whatever.
niche and stuff,
And
yeah.
yeah, like I'm gonna do these cute little projects and I'm gonna wear the cutest little outfits and just
Be a
like
pretty girl.
be the it girl, be the it girl. Ouch, Jupiter. Oh my god. Be the it girl in a different way. My hand got caught where he was like chewing on his toy. Be the it like be a hidden it girl. I know she had some Taurus and maybe some Scorpio, and that's our whole thing. It's just like wanting to be mysterious or whatever, and like it kind of feels a little revengey. And then I remember she had some air in her chart as well. But I'll say
But
that
doesn't
like,
she want success? Doesn't she want success?
I mean, a lot of us are scared of our potential, like she is being compared to the greatest of all time, and like that is like a lot of work and it's a lot of pressure, and I just hope that her and her team are not like self-sabotaging a little bit this opportunity that she has, because she is just such a talented, like it really, like you said, it's the performances, it's the dancing, it's like it's the stage presence and the music that goes with it, and it's just like
Right.
she deserves to do these projects and she can do it in her own way. Like you can do it in your own way, boo. I was
It's
rooting for
like,
you like Normani.
right. And eventually you can do these like, niche projects if you want to. But it's like initially when Beyonce came out, she came out with a pop forward song with R&B undertones. She came out with Crazy in Love to get to understand that she is like
But
her
maybe
audience can be
everybody,
anyone. But I just
maybe
feel
she
like
doesn't want that.
that's true. I
Like
guess I just
I
think
think it's
about the
very clear
maximum.
Beyonce knows that she wanted to be like the next Michael Jackson, like
You're right. Maybe nobody doesn't
and
want
I don't
that.
know. But it's
It's
like
just
I know you
sad.
want something. I know you want to be. You could be like Rihanna or Janet Jackson or whatever. You could
Right.
do Janet. It's Janet. It's the Janet lane, and it's like Janet. I feel like has, she goes on tour. She has her people. Like obviously she has a world, fandom. But I feel like now in her career, it's like she has loyal fans because she went for like the pop lane. She did the dancing. She got the visuals, and she is a dancer, you know, like it's just, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But she came out with a pop forward song. I just feel like to show that like her audience is going to be very broad. I thought Normani did
and the
not
girls,
do that.
I'm sorry, I gotta say this: the girls got to get more creative. And I know you said this, Alexis, in a recent podcast, but like you have a standard now to compete with. You're competing with the Beyoncés. You're competing with the Doja Cats. Like Doja Cat's albums are creative. And now we were just talking about Willow Smith coming on the scene.
Willow Smith.
We cannot get these beats that you can find on the internet that we've heard a million times.
And the
like
lyrics be boy,
the same
what
thing.
You gonna do with this?
Like it feels like a song that I've heard before already.
It's like hell.
It's like I've heard this before. I swear to God, I've heard this song before.
Basic dirty talk. It's the most basic line. I'm sure I've heard that on Insecure when like Molly and Drew were having sex. Like it's just a very, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a very stupid thing. And I'm just like, this is the thing.
Gross.
There has to be more as women, and I to be weird that we can talk about other than sex.
There is
I love
more.
A good like Sweet Honey Bucket. I love it. Riverdance. I love it. Like talk about sex. Tyrant. Talk about sex, but do it in a way that's fun. Like you're just talking about boy, what you're gonna do with it. Come on, like,
and even just make that a up-tempo song. Like, but what you gonna do with it? I mean, that's where that's where we got it. What you gonna do with it?
But it's just, I don't know. Like I was expecting more, and like I also just feel bad because I am a Normani. I'm in the Normani fan club, but I see the comments under the song where people are being like, "Did your big one with this and stuff?" I'm like, don't hype up this. Like this is not like the type of music she needs to be continuing with. Like
you guys, we were always honest with Beyonce. Okay, we were always honest. Especially in the beginning. I mean, Beyonce never really gave us anything that we weren't whatever, but like I feel like she listened to
sorry, go ahead. Like it's just like what is up with the girls right now? Because I'm just like, I mean, even like Chloe, like your first song was Pray It Away. You had Body Do album, okay? Body Do was a bop. That should have been your lead debut song on this album. And you put Pray It Away, another slow song to pray. Like what?
Chloe, like, I know Beyonce has Halo. I know Beyonce does Ave Maria. Right. But for her single, she said, "You ready?
Let's go get them."
Like, you know, it's like you have to arrive. You have to wake us up and let us see you and take your moment.
Make your presence. Like, well, so I'm like, what's up with them? Because I'm like, Pray It Away. I mean, even Hallie, your first song was Angel and then In Your Hands. Like, y'all need to make your presence known on this like platform. And that's why I'm like, I feel like that's why SZA's so successful. Her first song wasn't Snooze. We love Snooze, but it wasn't Snooze. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just
and we were talking about Rihanna.
And Rihanna, her first song was Ponde Replay. It wasn't so just pull the trigger. People just don't understand who's managing these girls. Make your presence known. Yeah. Like
I think it's the industry's probably different. I think it's just really quick and stupid and people aren't taking their time with things. I don't know. I don't know. But I think we should move on to the next topic. Yes, but finish your thought because we only got a couple.
Well, no, I just like this is the thing. It's just like we love Normani. We want to see her do well, and it's just like I'm scared, but I am curious to see. June. I think it was June 14th is the album coming out, so I do want to see like what dopamine is giving. Same.
And I hope she gives us some visuals. Like, do something that is like shocking and like. Like feed the audience, okay? Especially Normani. But especially Normani. Especially Normani, like You have starved your fans. And one thing that Beyonce does is she feeds us. Okay. I was looking back. I'm like, oh yeah, Beyonce was giving us an album like every 3 years. Then she had some every 2 years. And there's always stuff happening in between. And it's like, you got to feed your fans, you know, like we are wanting it. So you should go all out. Like you should have a visuals. You should be, you know, it would have been cool if she dropped it and could have done Coachella, but maybe next year. But anyways, we're rooting for you, Normani. I'll be listening on the 14th, and I'm just going to have to get my, you know, fixes from the other creative girlies, you know, like Doja Cat is definitely giving us some good
yes.
stuff. And
Victoria
like,
Monet,
just put out an album.
That's what I'm
Victoria
saying.
Monet.
Like Victoria Monet,
and
she's a
Willow.
movement
I'm
girly.
really excited.
But can I just say this and then we move on? Victoria Monet is known for her movement as well, like Normani. The first song, "Oh My Mama," the video iconic, and secondly, like the video was dance forward. She put out a song that has a dance break in it. The fact that you wouldn't do it just makes no sense. I don't know. Let's move on before I get too mad. You want to talk about Amanda Seales and Shannon Sharp? I will let you start it off.
Yes, so I'm sure the listeners know, and maybe you don't. Amanda Seales was on Shannon Sharp's show. What is his show called? I'm blanking on the name.
I'll look it up while you talk.
Club Shay Shay, yes.
Club
that's
Shay
what
Shay,
it is. Yeah. So yeah, they had a 3-hour interview, which I will say that I did not watch the whole thing. I watched some of like the 45-minute clips. Yeah, we're not journalists, people.
We're here to share our unsolicited opinion. Okay?
Yeah.
So
we speaking on shit. So yeah, like I watched some of the 45-minute clips. So I saw when she was like talking about Issa Rae, and then I saw some of the clips about her experience in
racism.
School. Yes, with racism and how Shannon Sharp was just like, yes, I actually didn't see her talk about the autistic piece, but I did hear about it and like how she explains how that like explains a lot of her not being accepted and liked. Yeah. And so
what are your thoughts?
So yeah, Alexis, we've been like, we want to talk about this, and Alexis like, I have so much to say, but we've saved it for the podcast. So I'm curious what your thoughts are actually.
I mean, so I think it's very triggering to me when someone shares their lived experiences, and the first reaction of another to play devil's advocate or invalidate or try to be like, well, did you think it was this thing? And it's just like, no. Right. If this is how it was, I interpreted it, this is how it went in my world. You know, this is how I viewed it. This is how I experienced. And I get that there's room for like different perspectives, but it's very strange to me when a person wants to find a different perspective to racism or to abilities and disabilities and to to like workplace trauma, especially as a Black woman. It's very weird to me that the first thought to someone else is, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe she's misinterpreting racism. It's weird that you would want to be on the other side of that rather than
especially when that is not
I just want to finish this.
That's the norm, you know?
Right. Rather than,
like
especially as a Black man, especially as a Black man, just seeking to understand and validating a Black woman. Why your first urge would be to do the opposite. So it was very triggering for me as a Black woman. And secondly, it was very, very strange to me. Because I feel like that comes out. It's funny because he was trying to sit there and invalidate her, and if anything, it showed generalized racism. That the moment that another person of color says that they are experiencing this thing, your first thing is to do what white people do, which is to say, well, maybe it wasn't racism, the problem misinterpreting,
or take up for white people,
right? Or maybe you don't have a disability, and maybe it was just that you're not connecting right. And so I just feel like it was very strange.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
With the disability piece, so like I said, I didn't listen to that part. Was he? Did he have the same reaction of like?
Yes, like he was like, well, he was like, couldn't it just be that you had a misunderstanding and not that the fact that you have, you're on the spectrum, and it's just like. I don't know. It's like, again, it's kind of like what we talked about last week, where it's like when people don't have the range, have the feel the need to put an opinion, and if anything, it does more harm to the person and to your relationship and to the situation rather than good. Right. And so it's just like he did not understand that. Yes, sometimes there's misinterpretations, right? And then also a thing with being on the spectrum is that social situations, you cannot evaluate and navigate and interpret it in a manner that a neurotypical person would. This causes you to have a reaction or behave in a way that is not appropriate for the situation, or and to you, you might be thinking you're responding appropriately. However, it's not, and it is. You can see that as a misinterpretation. So it's just like, it's so weird because he did not have the knowledge of neurodivergence and the whole thing that comes with being neurodivergent, and so he could not validate her. But even regardless, if someone says they're dealing with it, why is your first urge to disagree? Why is your first urge to not validate them? I just don't understand that, especially as a Black woman, when we know get constantly get through the least protected, and constantly are underdiagnosed for autism when they, we have Black women that are autistic. It's not surprising to me that as an adult she would get diagnosed. And so, I mean, and then I know it came out that she self-diagnosed too. It came out later. Even to me though, still, if her experience is that in the world, and she's done her work and the literature and all that other things.
I knew I was ADHD before I took the test.
Why would you not validate? So to me, it was just like, it showed a lot of his trauma. And it was very triggering. And I was like, I would not be surprised, ignorant. And I would not be surprised if she never talks to him again. Because I'm just like, she was fighting with him at every second of that interview.
Yeah. I feel like,
wait, sorry, thought on here's. It made me tweet this, but I retweeted because somebody tweeted. I want to find the tweet. Okay, so somebody tweeted. Oh my God, sorry, it just went away. Okay, so somebody tweeted. Okay, so many Black men are comfortable participating in racial gaslighting, and it's disturbing. And they put a clip of Shannon Sharpe trying to say that invalidate her experience of racism in the classroom. And it reminds me of the article "Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black Race." Are the white people of Black people, and it's an article by Damon Young, who's a scholar in Black literature, and he has really good books. I had to read one for school, and the article talks about how like straight Black men operate within the Black race as how white men do in the society. They invalidate, they do things that put everyone else below them, and they do things to get closer to whiteness because they realize that they're at the top of the totem pole when it comes to Blackness. Like they're straight, they're a man, and so it just reminded me of that article in the sense that and they talk about in the article how when experiences come up of other people of the Black race that are more marginalized, their first thing to do is to invalidate. And I feel like it's agreed, and I feel like it puts into perspective his behavior in this situation. He was operating like a white person would, and it's really sad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, like you said, I don't think Shannon Sharpe is equipped to talk about some of these things, and I hope that he develops that more, because obviously he now has this huge platform. He needs to do his research, and he needs to provide a safe space, because that was definitely not. And I think not in a way of she probably, like you said, she was having to fight for herself the whole time. I did see there was a couple moments of connection, and they hugged and stuff. But yeah, but I also as a Black woman, this shit happens so much that it's almost you could miss it. You could miss that like this was happening, like that he was invalidating her the whole time. But back to Shannon Sharpe just not having the understanding. It's like, if you don't really know what autism is or neurodivergence is, like you probably shouldn't speak against, you know, like you probably shouldn't like, you probably should just be like, okay, so how was your experience with that? When did you start realizing you were autistic? Like, what is autism? How does it show up in your life? Like, those were the questions that were right there. And it's just like, you have to understand, like, it doesn't feel good to be invalidated or heard, or even if you're unpacking it a little bit, you don't have to completely say like you are misunderstood. You could have been completely misunderstood in that situation. It's fucked up.
Oh, sorry.
And it's fucked up, and we already do enough gaslighting to ourselves as Black women.
It was like a showcase of like how like Black men can oftentimes like abuse their position in society and act as like a white person and do all these things. But it also was a good class at showing how Black women have to like navigate in the world, and fight to be heard and fight to be like understood and fight like affirmed and for people to believe us and things. And I just felt, I don't know, it's like, say what you want about Amanda Seales, the way that she had to literally everything. And then he was also like, also he just came inappropriate. He called her mom white when she wasn't white. He said
it's like correct. What?
Like he didn't do his work, and he didn't do his homework prior to this interview. So he was saying so many things she had to correct him on. Like, that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
it's just like, how does, and you're right. And you're like, how is he allowed to have this big of a platform that he doesn't know? To me,
it just showed that he had an agenda, and his agenda was to like invalidate her in every sense. Because if you actually came to want to learn more about her, you would have at least gotten her background correct. You didn't do your homework. You came there for one mission. That was just,
and I just feel like, and I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like Shannon Sharpe is like, I think he could be unconsciously doing some of these things.
Absolutely.
Like, because it just happens all the time. Like, it's just, you know, it's just like, I don't think he was like, oh yeah, like Amanda Seales is coming. Like, I think he was really like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like a good conversation and blah 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 blah. But maybe just doesn't have like that emotional intelligence, or
I just feel
like, or just knowing about a lot of what she's talking about. And
I think it just showed this like toxic male ego where it's like you felt no need to prepare before the interview, so you got so many different things wrong. You could just do it.
Can I say
and then when these topics came up, you had no idea what to say, but you felt you were, because of just being just for being a straight Black man, felt that you could do it. Like there are
and you're so right. People. Can I say this?
This?
Like, you're right. It's like, how do you feel allowed to have, you feel very entitled to have this position. And I want to bring up another podcast that he was on. It was called Nightcap. I don't know if you saw a clip of this. It's like with Ocho Cinco, him, and
I know what you're talking about, but
another
tell me
guy.
About the clip.
Yeah, I think it's somebody that we know. But they were just basically, they were talking about the interview, and on one of the parts, like Shannon Sharpe is like, you know, just telling all of like her accomplishments, like she does this, like she does all these things. And then at the end of it, Ocho Cinco was like, is she married?
I saw that.
I'm excited. I was excited to have her. She was great. She taught me a lot of things. But she's highly, 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 highly educated. She's real versed. She can sing. She's a comedian. She's a writer.
Is she married?
No, she's not married. She's not married.
The same day, huh?
I mean, yes, I'm listening to you list all the qualities that she has, and I'm just curious if she was married, because that sounds like that's a great catch for someone.
Yeah. No, that sounds like some flaws for some men, because as educated as she is,
right?
Yeah,
she's there's a standard of a man that she's looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's not on the same educational level as her, she's going to look down on. And but that is, if they're more educated than her, then they talking down to her.
Right.
So these are the type of women that will typically be single because they can't find the equal partner to.
And it's like,
mind you, none of those men are married. Mind you, none of those. It was Gilbert Arenas.
I think Ocho Cinco is married.
He's engaged. She's engaged. She doesn't have a wife yet.
They haven't got married.
No, he's married to that girl from that show, like that was on Netflix about the agency.
Yes,
they had a baby
I know
and they're
who you're
engaged.
talking about.
Yeah, but they're not married.
They're not
so
fucking married. That's so fucking serious. That's
so
terrible.
it's just like, again,
they've been engaged for years.
You feel entitled and have the ego to feel that you on another person and why they're single while you're sitting there unmarried. I'm telling you that why it's exactly what the article. It's from The Root. Y'all should read it. It really is like it is exactly straight black men are the white people of black people. Like, it is crazy that you would think you can speak on that sitting there unmarried. I don't care if you're engaged, unmarried. We could go on and on about how he mistreats black women.
He should have said, does she have a man? Like, because that's what you really meant. You didn't mean that she married because your ass is not married.
And why is that
that's
the prize?
Crazy that they're not married.
She has more accomplishments than all of y'all, and she did that with her brain.
But that's just
so. It's just.
But that's just where the divide is. It's like it literally is like the men, like you guys. Yeah, you're right. It's the ego and like the unwillingness to. I mean, the lack of a need to develop this emotional intelligence that allows you to be, actually a supportive person. And you guys have to understand, it's like you have been guided in the wrong direction. Like you are, it's just like, I think a lot of it is very unconscious. Yes, and it is sick.
And I feel like that comment also speaks to wanting to invalidate her. Like he was trying to build it up and say she has all these things, but she doesn't have this thing, and this thing is the most meaningful thing. Again, your urge to invalidate another black woman.
So right.
I ask where that comes from because it comes from a place of your own internalized racism and your own possibly like disdain for black women. Because there's no one like if I would never sit here and hear a story about someone's lived experience that's valid to them, and my first thought it would be, well, maybe you really didn't experience racism.
Right, Alexis.
What was the point of bringing up if she had a man? It's because you were trying to tear it down, not because you were trying to build her up.
That is so it's disgusting. Oh my god. Like I feel like like I said, like I have like we all have as black women just been on the receiving end for so long. It's like it's scary to like wake up to that level of toxic masculinity that exists and like and see it just so blatantly. And it's like, but we are the ones that be showing up for y'all. Like I don't understand how you can say you can claim to love your mother so much and treat black women like that. And it's just, it's a lot of internalized racism. It's self-hate. It's fucking confusion. It's just like,
people would call Ocho Cinco pro-black and Gilbert Arenas pro-black because they were with black women. It's like, make fucking sense. Like, these men are cornballs, okay? And it's just like the way that they would talk about her is sick, doesn't show respect,
and it's sad.
And the way that he treated her is too. But Samantha, just I gotta go in 2 minutes to my job, but we should finish this up. We should do like a mini pod.
Let me just say
20
this
minutes.
Last thing. Yeah, I was just gonna say like. I feel like never mind. I forget.
No, go ahead. I just want to say what.
I kind of forget. I was going to say something about just, I was going to say the bar is just so low. And it's like, these are the podcasts that these men are listening to. Like the men are listening to the fucking Joe Buttons and the, the nightcaps and whatever.
Charlemagne.
And it's like, I just am like, and I feel like I'll say, I feel like he is attempting to you know, develop himself. But in terms of like just, you know, having role models, it's fucking bleak out here. Like it is fucking bleak out here for Black men. And yeah, I think they definitely need to heal and realize that, you know, get in the natural order of things and really understand how this
just realize your positionality in the world and realize how your like position impacts things and disrupts things, but also upholds certain things and act accordingly.
And it's also 2024. There's no excuse that like at this point you have an excuse to not be emotionally intelligent or understand what's happening and like
of your privilege and how that how you use that to abuse it over women. Let's be clear. This is 2024. There's no excuse. Your choice to not do that work is intentional choice. And don't be afraid when people out on it like us. And so I'm just like, you know, I'm not here to baby it and be like, it's just boys being boys. They're just talking shit. They're just playing around.
It's sad because I think toxic. I think it's sad too because I think it's sad too because we want to give these men platforms. Like I will say, like Shannon Sharp reminds me of like an uncle or something, and it's like we want to enjoy your fucking show, but you're being it's like now I can't even fucking enjoy it.
You gotta do better because we might follow up this with a mini pod that we'll record later in the week just to give our more concise thoughts.
Yes, because we didn't even talk about Issa, so we got to do a part 2.
We'll follow up. Yes, we're gonna do a part 2 that we will drop later on this week or the weekend, and I'll see you.
Okay, love y'all. Email us. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcasts. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.